Magic of being in a closet.
Said Tom Cruise to everyone.
Getting all sweaty.
Creativity in progress.
Hello and welcome to Creativity in Progress, where we talk about creativity in a podcast. My name is Nathan Beatty, and here with me I have
Ethan Murphy, Nathan Beatty's friend.
Hello, Ethan. How you doing today?
I'm sweaty. It is at least 97 degrees.
Yes, in here.
But at the same time, it's worth it.
Yes.
There are a few men in this world that I want to sweat with more than Nate Beatty Jr.
Yeah, I completely agree. I love to sweat with him.
Yes. By the way, on that exact note, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. It got up to 90 degrees today, and then it stormed like a blah blah. Got soaked on the way coming home, but other than that, it's been good. Been a good day. Got very productive. But this is a milestone here. This is the first night of
French fry
being in a big boy bed.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Are you afraid?
I'm not afraid. Well, yes, I am.
Yeah,
because Lord knows it's just it was really funny. It was one of the first, it was like the first month that
Nugget
was in a big girl bed,
mm-hmm.
and I come out of the bedroom. This was like 7 a.m. It's on a Saturday,
sure.
But I knew, like, the dogs woke me up. I had to feed him. Come out into the living room, dining room area, and I look down the hallway, and at the end of the hallway is this figure, and the figure is about 3 feet tall, long, gangly hair,
sure.
kind of looking up at me like this. Arms down in a frown. Like, picture what was that movie with?
So the one with there's a couple. One's Insidious, where it has a little guy with the bowl cut. One's The Grudge with Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Grudge.
Yeah.
It's the chick from The Grudge.
Yeah.
Is essentially in my hallway, and it takes a beat. And during that beat, I died.
You're terrified.
I seriously, because I was like, okay, my past is coming back to eat me.
Of course.
And then I realized it was just Nugget. It was just Nugget's just standing. I forgot my child's name for a second.
Well, here's the video of that story too. You did mention both your kids by name earlier, and I was like, oh no, does he know he mentioned them both by name earlier?
Oh geez. So what you will have heard. What you will have heard, audiences, you will have heard when I started to say the name, you would hear the name Nugget,
right.
And then Fries,
right.
When I go and say the names earlier.
Unless you're watching the stream of this right now, which does exist.
Yes.
So
find it. Damn it.
It wouldn't be ironical if it wasn't ironical.
I'm going to be honest. Considering we know, we didn't tell anybody about this, so the chances of anybody watching this.
Of course.
Minuscule.
I would imagine the one person that's here with us is the one person that would have watched it otherwise. So we're good. We're completely good.
But we'll get to him next week.
Yeah, we will. What time travel apparently.
So, but anyways, enough of that chit chatter. We did a thing.
We did do a thing,
and a lot of you listeners have probably already heard this.
Yes.
But we're giving it to you again because we're just so excited about it. Essentially, we were at All-Star Comic-Con, mm-hmm. and we ran into somebody. Ethan, why don't you pick it up from here? Tell us a little bit more.
Sure. We ran into the one, the only Ming Chen of comic book men fame. He's also one of Kevin Smith's buddies. He runs the comic book shop up in New Jersey with a lot of his cronies. They filmed several episodes up there, of course. And he has his own podcast of over 300 episodes with his buddy Mike, who's also of comic book fame. And we got the wonderful opportunity, the mm-hmm. honor to be guests on his podcast for about half an hour.
Yeah.
Where Dave and I just rambled. Now, the beauty of this was that we recorded the podcast with Ming on Sunday, but we found out about Mick was our in to this guy. I met him on Saturday night. He agreed to have us on the podcast Saturday night. He's a really, really, really nice guy. But Nate didn't find out about this until Sunday, maybe an hour or so before. Yeah. And I did not properly inform Nate as to who the person was that wanted us on his podcast.
Yes.
I thought I did, but I kind of skimmed over it fast. So, Nate, if you would tell us about how you about how well you were prepared for the actual podcast you were on.
I didn't have a clue. So I was going into this thinking, because it kind of wasn't clear, just because communication was coming fast and loose from both Ethan and Mick, and it was very like, oh yeah, we'll figure it out, blah 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 blah, which is fine. But I brought stuff to record because I thought we would be recording at the booth and all that stuff, and so I just assumed that I would be taking my equipment up to the recording, so that way I could record it. And I thought I was just going to be Mr. Engineer Man off to the side doing all that.
Oh, yes, that's
yeah. I
okay.
totally thought, because I thought the whole reason I thought he was talking to you was for your books.
I was just talking to me.
I thought he was just talking to you about your books, and I didn't want to crowd in on that. Right. Well, when we get there, he's like, hey, so you guys got a podcast? Like, and I realized, like, oh, okay, this is all about podcast.
I completely miscommunicated to you. I'm sorry.
Well, no, you're fine. I didn't, I just, like, I was holding back and not asking questions because I just assumed that, they were like, oh, this is a published author and this is a guy in his basement. So, and there's
like most published authors.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, there's a lot of us, not as many as you. So, so I just assumed that he was going to talk to you.
Right, okay.
So so when we get up there and he's talking about podcasts, I was like, oh, that's cool, and blah blah blah, and we're going through it, and then and he's talking and he's dropping the name Kevin Smith a couple times. Yeah. And he did, which was fine. He's friends. He's friends with Kevin Smith. Of course, he's going to talk about it.
It's fun to watch. None of those. They all went bing bing all over.
Yeah, well, it was, and I'm like, okay, well, that was an interesting, that was an interesting deep dive,
sure.
For someone to pick, and like his examples worked and everything, but it just seemed like that wouldn't have been the first person I thought of.
Right.
So it's like, I'm obviously still in the dark, and if you watch the video. You can see.
There's a definitive moment when it goes from oblivious as hell to informed as hell.
Oh yeah, and so there's a point where I say to him, and because he was also very generous,
generous.
He was extremely generous to let us use the audio for our podcast. So he did let us drive the interview a little bit at certain points.
Yes, he did.
And so at one point I said, so how did you get into podcasting? And then the next sentence that he said, that is when everything fell into place into my brain.
It all clicked.
And I was like, and it was just like, boom, Kevin Smith, boom, Ming Chen, boom, comic book men, boom, shared universe. Like, it was just like, boom, 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 boom. And then, so on the video, you can see me go, oh. In my head, I'm going,
and it's the best way to think of it is because I've seen the video when I was there live. I didn't look to my left to see you.
Yeah, he didn't catch it.
But I saw the video. I was like, oh, it's exactly like if you've seen The Usual Suspects, the part where Chaz Palminteri realizes that as he drops his sacred mug from his mother, as he realizes that verbal spoiler alert. That everything verbal is said to him is BS, and he's pretty much realized, oh, wait a minute, I've been had. That's pretty much what Nate, as all the clues bombarded his goatee and mustache and glasses, that's pretty much what happened. It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
As your mind blew in half.
And what was, that was a really good thing to happen, though, because since I was in the moment,
right.
Like the only thing I can say is that the performer background in me kind of still held the wheel.
Yes.
And so I was able to just be like, okay, that's great. And we just continued on. Everything was fine.
Yeah, you didn't seem too flustered. Didn't seem too thrown.
I credit that to my many years on stage.
Yeah.
But if I had known ahead of time,
of course,
I would have been a puddle. Like, thank God the flop sweat didn't happen until after the interview was over.
Yeah, it was. I guess that's a good. You're right. It's a good thing that you did. That you went in there completely blind. Otherwise, you'd have been. It's kind of like in my dream scenario where Logan Browning. If I'm driving a Lyft, Logan Browning gets in the back of my car. I have no idea it's her until she's getting out. Like, oh, that was her. If I had known, I would have kept driving and never would have stopped. So I get the idea that it's better sometimes in the moment not to be to have a lack of information.
Yeah, it's one of those things. But anyways, after all of that, how about we go ahead and we stop the suspense and we go ahead and we let you all listen to it. So everyone, we're about to drop you in to our interview with Ming Chen of Shared Universe and the Mike and Ming podcast. Hope you enjoy it.
Hey, what's up, everybody? There you go, bump it up a little bit. All right. Hey, what's up, guys?
How you doing?
Creativity in Progress.
Yes.
The podcast
Yes.
here. And I thank you for stopping by. I'm literally trying to get all podcasters to stop up to the pavilion up here. And yeah, we kind of came up with this thing. You know how you go down there and the other room's Artist Alley?
Yeah.
Yeah, why isn't there a podcast alley? I think they're, yeah.
It's
Now-
getting there, man. It's getting there.
Yeah, I agree, and I mean we'll be there soon enough.
Yeah.
So I think while we haven't created any books or anything, I think what we create is the welcoming environment based on everything that comes out, movies, comic books, anything geek, and yeah, what I like to do, I just want all the creators and stuff to come here and talk about their work and everything. So
Absolutely. Yeah. First off, thank you for having us here. We're
yeah,
obviously
for sure.
fans of yours. I hit you up a couple of years ago in Jersey at the comic shop, and you were hounded by so many bevy of models and bikini women. So I had.
it happens, man. It's a rough life. It's definitely a tough life, but I deal with it though.
You do
I
well.
deal with it.
You do
cope.
well. You do
You
well.
cope.
Yeah, definitely cope. So, yeah, I'm glad you guys are right. You guys are from the area, correct?
Not too far from Charlottesville. It's about 2 hours out.
Right,
East
okay.
or south, not
Yeah.
Too far away.
Isn't that that's Dave Matthews Country,
Yeah,
right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
There's a big sign that says "Welcome to Dave Matthews Country." You can
Yes.
walk and drive
They
it
should
into
just
it.
change to Charlottesville to Dave Matthews Land
Yeah.
at this point, or
Yeah, pretty much.
It is.
Yeah, it was a pretty big deal this past year. He finally came back to the area. It had been years since he had done a concert locally, and he did 2 right in a row. And yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, just a taste, just a flavor.
Just a little nuts. But yeah, it's a fun town. We enjoy it.
yeah. Why is it taking? Where's he? Would he sell out? He moved to LA or something? I guess.
Probably.
Well, yeah, I think it was like in the early 2000s. He did like 7 years in a row concerts locally, and like by the 7th year, nobody was coming. It's like
really?
everybody was like, we saw him last year, so he like took like 6-7 years off.
Oh, there he goes. He's playing Crash into you again. Like,
yeah, the ants have marched. We get it.
Yeah, we get it. So, where do I find you guys? Your podcast? Everywhere great podcasts are available.
Oh yeah.
Stitcher, iTunes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Creativity in progress.
Yeah, creativity in progress. We talk about pretty much all things creativity. We like talking. We get a lot of guests on of budding creators, established creators.
Okay, that's cool, man.
Yeah, we've talked to directors. We've talked to comic book artists like this gentleman right here.
Yes.
Or writers.
Writers.
Yeah, writers. Yes. And we've talked to comic book artists and all of that. So yeah, and it's a lot of fun. Seeing how people approach creativity in different ways.
It's weird. Say you take a guy like Kevin Smith. He wakes up, he smokes weed, and then he's off and running.
And it works for him really well, obviously too.
But he's a guy. I don't particularly enjoy writing. I would rather create stuff on Photoshop or design logos or things like that. Where he has that same motivation. He'll wake up and he'll write all day.
Yeah.
It's a
He
weird.
loves it.
That's
Yeah.
weird. As a writer, that's weird. Hearing someone, it's hard to get into that mode of writing things.
Yeah, yeah. But he's always been good at. Even if you ask him, he's like, "Oh no, I don't. I'm not a director. I'm a writer who just has to. I want to direct my own stuff to make sure it comes out right." So
Yeah.
he's kind of like, this guy who directed Clerks. So everyone's like, he's a director, but he's like, no, I'm a writer first.
Right.
Director second.
Yeah.
And that's how I knew him first. Actually, was from his writing with Daredevil and other comics.
Yeah.
So I knew him for that before All Rats or anything else.
Yeah, which is cool. So I like reading through his scripts, and he's very his writing is good.
Yeah.
His writing is good, and this is how good his writing is. He made a movie shot in grainy black and white.
You're right.
With some real actors, but not all of them were actors, and it became a hit because his writing was bulletproof on that movie.
And that's how it works. It cost $7, I think it was, to make it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, for sure. How many episodes are you guys up to now?
We're just.
I think this will be our 30th. So
Yeah.
It's
Holy crap, that's awesome.
We have Ming on our 30th episode. This occasion.
Oh, hey, man! Hey, it just happened to work out that way, though.
Right.
Yeah, which is nice. Well, so what are you writing right now? What are you working on right now? What should we be looking for right now?
So the short answer is we have the company that I work for. It's my own company. It's called Echelon Graphic Novels.
echelon graphic novels.
like kind of like an upper echelon.
Yeah, echelon, yep.
Echelon. And we have right now we have 4 different series that are actually out. The first one is Slade and Ash, which just got optioned by Platinum Studios to be made into a film.
Holy crap! That's wow. Congratulations.
Slade and Ash is basically you're probably about my age, a little bit younger, maybe a lot younger. But in the 80s...
No, I'm pretty old, actually. I remember the 80s fondly, yes.
Perfect. That's all we need then. If you remember in the 80s, it was all about the buddy cop genre, like Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, 48 Hours.
48 Hours, yes, Steve Nolte and Eddie Murphy. So that's basically what this is. It's basically Lethal Weapon or Big Trouble in Little China meets The Walking Dead.
Okay.
So if you can
Love it.
wrap your head around that.
I can.
Perfect. It's made for you then.
Yes.
We have another series called Blackmore, which is debuting at this convention. It's all about the world's first female mad scientist, set in the steampunk 19th century London. If Doc Brown and MacGyver had a daughter, it'd be her.
That's awesome.
So that's the second one. The third one is a Divine Influence, which is very much kind of like Dragon Ball Z meets Avatar: Last Airbender.
Right.
Basically, God and the devil get into a big, huge war. God loses badly, and so how the world reacts to having being ruled by a female devil, essentially.
Wow.
And then the fourth one is Back to the Future meets The Matrix. It's called Screen Boy.
Yeah.
If you can imagine Marty McFly being able to go between, as opposed to times, he's able to go into different fictional dimensions, fictional worlds, like he can go to Star Wars if he wanted to, or he actually go to Lord of the Rings.
Right.
And in this world, what happens is criminals get the ability to do this as well, and they go into these different worlds and steal like different items, and so it's their job to pretty much police fictional universes, more or less.
Holy crap! So it's kind of like Time Cop.
Yes.
But,
Yes.
Yep.
but
Like thick cop.
yeah, that's cool. I don't think anyone's done anything like that before. Kind
I
of
hope
jumping
not.
into fictional worlds and righting wrongs. There.
like Quantum Leap.
Like Quantum Leap, without Ziggy and Al, but
I
or
guess.
maybe there is a Ziggy and Al.
Hopefully, I need to make
cool.
one.
What are your main influences? I mean, you're obviously a big pop culture, sci-fi, and movie
Yes.
movie geek.
The biggest influence is probably for both of us. We both love obviously anything from the '80s. That whole genre. We love retro gaming too.
Yes.
The idea of actually being able to, like, for example, Screen Boy is heavily influenced by Mega Man.
Right.
8-bit gaming.
Oh,
we love Lord of the Rings, high fantasy, different things like
Yep.
that. The 80s buddy cop movies. You mentioned 48 Hours.
Yep.
Anything with Eddie Murphy, Axel Foley, Ash, Slade and Ash is based directly off of Axel Foley from Beverly Hills Cop. So pretty much everything that we grew up, all of us grew up reading and watching and seeing, being inundated with. Our whole nostalgia being is all in these books, more or less.
I want to read the book. It's like, is this a man who wrecked the buffet at the Herald Club?
Yeah.
You know, to understand,
and
you
the
took these
tailpipe.
2 gentlemen to a strip club establishment? Like, yeah.
I can watch a movie literally every day. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. I love doing this stuff.
That's amazing. Where can we find your books then?
So obviously you can find them at Tyson's Corner and this. But we actually are online. If you go to echelongnovels.com,
Okay.
you can find us there. Hit us up. Hit both Nate and I up. And we're also our books are available in stores and comic shops, pretty much on the East Coast in Richmond, Charlottesville, Virginia.
Okay.
Which we're trying to expand out more to actually have some in Tyson's Corner shops as well.
Oh yeah, definitely check out Comic Logic here.
Comic Logic.
Comic
Yeah,
Logic
definitely.
is one of my favorite shops. It is my favorite shop here.
Right on.
It's not one of my favorite shops.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the shop here.
Rob's awesome. Right there he runs. It's amazing.
Yeah.
If you have any problems with your books or anything else, hit up Nate. He gets full refunds out of his own pocket.
But why would you want a refund?
But why would you want one? You wouldn't want one.
refund.
See?
Why would you want one? Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. Hey, I mean, send some up to the stash, man. We have a whole creator owned section.
Done. Of course.
Yeah.
Done.
Address is in Google. It's not. We don't hide the address.
It's like clandestine.
Yeah, that's amazing. Wow. So 4 titles you're working on right
And we
now.
have a 5th one coming out too.
Yeah, I was
He
gonna say
read the
that-
script for Ipswich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really good one. He's the concept on it, like, I don't know how much he wants to talk about it, but I just really love the whole idea of it. It's more of a fantasy driven piece, man, it's just really great. This is really great. I'm really looking forward
That's
to
cool.
that.
So-
And Divine Influence are just awesome.
On Creativity in Progress, are you chronicling kind of your journey in making these books
A
at all?
little
Okay.
bit. We mainly like to talk to. We try to get the perspective of other artists, what their process was. Like you yourself, obviously your own journey to being a podcaster,
Right.
and everything else. We try to actually kind of, and also we try to be more positive as opposed to there's all kinds of things that they're bashing different, there's a lot of toxic nerd culture. We try to build up things.
There is, yeah. It's
Yeah.
Just, I feel it's more reflective of just basic human culture,
That's true.
unfortunately.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
That's true too.
Yeah, like, and we do have criticism, but we typically try to keep it positive, and we try to keep and it's just.
Oh
we're
yeah,
just
I mean, in this industry, yeah, we have to support each other, man. There's
Yeah.
there's no room for hatred or tearing people
exactly,
down. I feel.
exactly. We try to avoid that, but and we just really wanted to just try to create a space where people can enjoy what they enjoy and sit there and talk about it. I am curious, so how did you get started in podcasting?
Yes.
With Kevin Smith. He started podcasting in 2007. And then, and I was like, wow, what a perfect format for you. You can say whatever you want. You can curse. You can smoke weed while you do it. And
Probably supposed to.
yeah, and the initial, I think the first, 100 episodes of Smodcast, you notice they're all about 52 minutes long, which is unlike Kevin.
Yeah,
Kevin
yeah.
talks for a minimum of 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are all your episodes so, for you, relatively short? He's like, oh, that's all the card fits. It only fits 50 minutes. I was like, really? I was like, why don't you just buy a bigger card? He's like, you can do that? I'm like,
Blew his mind.
yeah, I'm like, isn't this why you hire me? Like, he never thought to question that. So it came with whatever, like a 2, at the time, it was like a 2 meg card or something or whatever. Or 2 gig or whatever. I'm like, dude, they make at the time the biggest one was like maybe 64.
Jeez.
So I went and got that, and instantly the recording time went up to like 128 hours, something like that. And then you see the episodes get longer after that. So yeah, but his podcast obviously took off immediately because he was famous already.
Yeah.
But not only that, the reason he was able to grow his audience was because he's such a great storyteller.
Right.
Yeah.
And his podcasts were amazing, and so when he built that up to hundreds of thousands of followers per episode, and his podcast became its own thing. But he hit a point. This was around 2009. He's like, "Hey, I want to start a network." So I'm like, "Well, what does that mean?" It's like, "Well, I want other shows on this network, but they can't all be me."
Right.
They
Yeah,
all,
yeah.
I mean, a lot of them are going to be me, and and Ralph Garman from Hollywood Babylon, or Mark Bernardin from Fat Man Beyond.
Yes, amazing.
But I was like, I want you to start one. I'm like, what? It's like, yeah, you should start I want you to start a podcast. And I'm like, I sat behind the computer, like putting, running his online store and building his websites and stuff. I'm like, I don't. What the hell am I going to podcast about that anyone's going to even listen to? It's like, you like a lot of stuff. What do you like? I'm like, Star Wars, comics, and food. That's a podcast. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it is.
Like, that counts? It's like, yeah, you don't, that totally counts. You can do whatever you want, but definitely do a podcast of whatever you're passionate about.
Yeah.
If you love Star Wars, comic books, and food, talk about that.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I don't want to do this by myself, though. So I grabbed Mike Zapsik, and I'm like, hey, you like Star Wars, comics, and food, too, right? And him even more so. He used to be a chef before he became a comic book salesman. So
That's a perfect combination in this
Yo,
show.
yeah, seriously.
Food.
yeah, so we sat down to record. Of course, Walt was at the store, and he literally pulled up a chair, waiting for us to crash the train into he wanted to see us go off the rails,
Right.
and it didn't happen because I thought Kevin wanted an hour. We ended up going 2 without even
Nice.
knowing it.
Oh wow.
And then
that's awesome.
I listened back to it. I was like, hey, we're not half bad, man. This is really good. Like, if I didn't know us, I wouldn't listen to this. But, I was talking about comics and how we got our start and all that. And Kevin was like, yeah, idiot, you were talking about what you love. Like, when you do that, you sound just as good as any radio DJ out there.
Yeah, and I think you actually hit the nail on the head there, because this is what we discussed when we wanted to start Creativity in Progress. We said, okay, what we need to do is we need to make a podcast that we would want to listen to. Like, that's really all that matters.
Yeah.
Like, don't try to think about, okay, what would our audience
Right.
like? No, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Make something that you would consume. And I think we've successfily done that thus far.
Yeah, it's
And,
so
you
weird.
know,
You got to think about it the other way around. Most people are like, well, what do the people want to hear? I'll do that.
Yeah.
Like, no. You do what you want to hear.
Exactly.
The people will come.
Right.
Yeah,
You'll
exactly.
find those people.
Yeah.
Because passion is contagious. If
Oh, God,
you're spreading
yeah,
the word
isn't
about what you're passionate about,
Yeah.
it'll catch on.
Yeah. So, I try to get people, like, listen, don't worry about the first 10 episodes. Get your friends to listen to those. Get your friends. Get your friends of friends, and it'll grow from there.
Yeah.
But,
it really will.
Yeah, but don't cater too much to the audience. Cater to yourself, man, which is like first and foremost of utmost importance,
Yeah.
in my opinion. But so we started the episode, and we're almost at 300 episodes on that
Nice.
Crazy.
podcast now.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and then we did the show, which was fun. If you watch Comic Book Men,
Yes.
we
Yes,
were
yes.
the first and at the time only show to feature podcasting in any kind of media. Yeah, you didn't see any podcasting, any movies up until recently. Up until recently, there were no shows that showed podcasting. What's his name, Zach Braff.
Yeah.
Kind of caught on, and unfortunately, that show got canceled after a season, the Alex Incorporated or whatever. But I like the concept.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
podcasting is radio on demand.
Yeah,
It's
great.
Everyone loves listening to
Creator, creator-owned, creator-created radio on demand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an awesome medium, because it's just you just have complete control.
Yeah.
Like you can make what you want to make, and if you half know what you're doing, then you can build an audience. You really can build an audience.
Yeah.
We're in the world of niche culture.
Yeah.
And and so you can cater to whatever niche you want to cater to.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing too. Like you said, your expertise was food, Star Wars,
Yeah.
and geek stuff.
Share it, man.
You can talk about anything, pretty much. I listened to a podcast that was literally about how to clean your lint trap. And I was like, it
Right.
worked. It was actually interesting. So I mean,
Yeah.
listen to anything out there.
There's like 100 yarn dyeing podcasts. Like,
Yes.
I'm not into yarn dyeing, but there are a lot of people into
Yes.
yarn dyeing, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's helpful.
Yeah, so recently we had planned this before the show ended, but it became we accelerated after the show ended.
of course.
But we were like, well, what do we like doing? It was like we were just kind of like, man, this is so much fun. Can we show other people how much fun this is? And why don't we just open a studio and teach people how to podcast and have a place where people can come back weekly to record? And it's working out, man.
That's
a great. I mean, a true service, because there's so many people that want to know they want to get into these type of things, but have no idea how to do it.
Yeah.
So having someone try to help them.
Yeah.
Learn how to learn these different skills and everything.
Yeah, I mean, inherently it's not that hard. Buy a recorder, a couple microphones. Editing software is free.
Yeah.
But my analogy is because someone was like, well, why can't people just record it at home? Like they can, but you can also. You can work out at home and look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but wouldn't.
Yeah.
But
Easier
nobody
said than
does
done.
that. And even Arnold has a trainer. He doesn't do it all himself. So he's got a
Exactly.
nutritionist. He's got he has help.
Yeah.
So
Right. He also knows what he's doing. So if you start off by yourself from scratch, trying to figure out, fumbling around.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was my analogy. It's like you can do yoga at home, but most people go to a studio. Why?
Yeah.
Because it's a great environment.
Yeah.
So, in addition to the technical expertise and the encouragement we give people, all the stuff on the walls is, it looks like a Comic-Con blew up in there. It literally does, yeah. All this stuff, all the cons I go to, all the stuff we've collected, all the photos we've taken with, like Stan Lee or Chris Hemsworth up on the wall. I think people, they relate to that. It's like, oh my God, you met Thor? I'm like,
Yeah.
like, yeah. We talked about kicking dudes in the nuts for 5 minutes, It was, which we did. So it was.
I want to do that.
Where's school for that?
Talk to Thor about that, not actually.
Yeah,
do.
actually, that story, that whole story started. I was at another con in the area, and there's a podcast booth set up, and I was walking by, and I think it was like a men kind of centric podcast. I'm trying to remember the name. Somebody can remind me. But I was walking by, they had an open mic, and they're like, "Hey Ming," I was like, "Hey, what's up?" He's like, "Hey, what's your opinion on wherever we need you to settle a debate. If you're in a fight, are you allowed to kick the other guy in the nuts?" They're like, "Well, we say no. We say that's like it's against that's an unwritten rule. Can't kick the other guy in the nuts." I'm like, dude, I'm 5'4". Like, if a guy, if the Rock's coming at me, for whatever reason, I'm kicking him in the nuts. I'm using every advantage I have
All
to
bets
win
are
that
off.
fight, or at least get away.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, no, man, that's wrong, man. You can't do that. I'm like, I disagree, and I will go on record right now. Are you recording? Good. Everybody listening to this, you can kick the other guy in the nuts. A fight is a fight, man.
Yeah,
That's
seriously.
what it is. And we agreed to disagree. Next day, I was at another convention where I got a photo with Chris Hemsworth, but it was Chris Hemsworth and Tom Hiddleston.
Oh, nice.
And Hiddleston was late. And I was the first guy in line. So we're waiting, and he's just there. And I'm talking, he had a security guard. There was a police officer there. And somehow we got started talking about kicking the other guy in the nuts because I was like, hey, you break up a lot of fights, right? Like, how often, in a fight, do you think is it okay to kick the other guy in the nuts? Because I couldn't get that argument on my head. And even the cop was like, yeah, man, like you can. And Chris starts chiming in, and he's like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, it's like, Chris, man, like if you get in a fight, like if me and you started fighting and kicked you in the nuts, like would that be unmanly? He's like, no, man, like no, you should. It's a fight, man. You should be able to kick the other guy in the nuts. Sure, yeah, man, yeah, mate. Like, I was like, all right, thank you. So I went back to the other con. I found these guys. I was like, hey, what's up? I was like, hey, by the way, I talked to Chris Hemsworth yesterday. I brought up that discussion we were having the other day, and Chris Hemsworth, not even an argument, the manliest man on the planet, right now, says it's okay to kick the other guy in the nuts. So suck it, you guys suck. Drop the mic, whatever, and I
seal of
left.
approval from Thor himself.
Yeah,
seriously,
Thor, a god endorsed
a literal god.
Thor's blessing.
Yes, totally.
I did.
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
I did. So yeah, but that all stemmed because of a podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Podcasting leads to nut kicking. I love it.
Yes, that is amazing.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So, where is your studio located?
It's about 10 minutes from the comic book shop, and
nice.
it's in Eatontown, New Jersey.
Yeah. Okay.
The store's in Red Bank, so it's literally like a 10-minute straight shot south. So, so we tell people if you're traveling great distances or not so great to visit the store, come down and record a podcast and talk about your experience at the store, talk about your journey, or talk about whatever you want.
Yeah.
And me and Mike will jump in with you if you want. So I feel like every advantage we can give to people,
That's awesome.
we will. So.
Yeah.
Can any other podcast studio say, Ming and Mike, TV's Ming Chen and Mike Zapsik will jump in with you? Nah, they can't.
Yeah.
So, can any other podcast, can you pull up an episode of a TV show? It's like, oh, there they are podcasting on TV. No, they can't. So,
seriously.
We got to take advantage of this. So,
It's podcasting university.
Yeah, seriously.
we teach classes. We teach 2-hour classes in there, and we've taught all kinds of people. It's been really cool.
That's awesome because we were fortunate in that prior to doing this podcast, I do voice acting.
Yeah.
And so I happened to have a studio set up in my basement.
Yeah.
I was able to do that, but we were lucky. Like we were lucky that we were able to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people, they try to get into podcasting and they get a mic from Walmart and they hook it up to the computer and try to do it. And it's like it's definitely better than doing nothing, but it's really good to get the education and if you're fortunate enough to be able to go to a studio like this, that's great because it can definitely give you a leg up in the quality of the podcast.
Yeah. Oh yeah, which just makes you more listenable and then you get bigger audience. But sound quality is a big. We're big sticklers for that for sure.
Yeah.
It kind of doesn't matter what your message is or how interesting your podcast might be. If people can't listen to you, understand what you're saying, it's not going to matter.
I've heard some pretty bad ones. So even our counterparts, Tell 'em Steve Dave. I just listened to an episode they recorded a couple weeks ago. I'm pretty sure Brian Quinn's mic was not on.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't on. I'm like, idiots, just somebody wear headphones. Somebody on there.
That is not good.
Although with the our beloved Zoom H6 recorder, they pretty much made it idiot-proof. But occasionally, somebody will flip off the switch, or they wouldn't even check. I'm like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Yeah.
What's hilarious for me though is that and this happens every week, like at least one thing where I go to review the file after the fact.
Yeah.
And just for my settings or something, I'll accidentally only be listening to one channel.
Right.
And so it'll be coming in, and I'll be like, I can't hear Ethan. Why can't I hear Ethan?
Oh my God, what happened? Like,
2 hours gone. 2 hours wasted.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh wait.
Left.
Oh, I can hear Ethan.
Yeah.
Now I'm good. Okay.
Yeah. Thank God. I always try to back up, and save my ass several times. So I usually have a couple backups running.
As a professional podcaster of over 30 episodes, Ming, what is like a pro tip, your golden rule for casting you can give to newbies?
I have a couple. One, I'm sure. You guys record in the same room.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
So, and at times I'm sure you haven't seen each other all week. You guys record once a week. So we always tell people, you get excited when you see each other. You start talking even before you start recording, and you waste a lot of stories that way.
Yeah.
That you either have to retell or you just I'm not going to tell that again. And when you retell it, it's never good. It's never as good the first time. So And that happens to us a lot. Michael comes like, "Oh man, I almost got into an accident with like a dude who looked like Andre the Giant." He'll start going, I'm like, "Whoa, dude, save the story. Stop talking. Record. Okay, let's go."
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And that, I try to. I'm like, dude, record every week.
Yes.
Find that hour. And it doesn't have to be the same day or same time of day. Just carve out that time. Like, don't. Yeah, that's the number one killer of podcasts. Is people just start. They're not as dedicated to it as they were at week one.
Yeah.
And you guys seem pretty. 30 episodes is a pretty strong testament.
Well, we tried at first with recording. We tried doing every other week, but we would record 2 episodes in that
perfect.
chunk.
Yeah,
When we tried that, and it worked, but it ended up it made for late nights, and so then we switched it to doing it every week, and it's been working out really well.
We've got a lot more energy coming.
Yep. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, that's tough, man. 2 hours. I mean, I can do it. I'll do it, but
Yeah.
it's that 1 hour is pretty
One
good.
solid hour.
Yeah.
And you're a family man yourself. You realize there's a lot of scheduling
Sure.
conflicts and everything.
Yeah. But I always try to carve out that 1 hour. Me and Michael do it usually before the store opens, right about 9:30. It's early, but store opens at 11. So we have a good hour and a half to set up, record, and then we're good. So and for the comic book based one, I sell comics. We usually do it in the back of the store. So we have the whole environment. It turns out the acoustics are really good in there too because all the Kevin's stuff on the walls.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, me and Mike work very differently. I game plan the episode, so I'll write down bullet points of what I want to talk about.
Okay.
Not heavy notes, but just very loose notes. And he usually just rolls in like, all right, what are we talking about this week?
That sucks.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, so we have this guest on, so you need to tell me a little bit about the guest, so that way I can come up with my thing. And and then he's the same way. He just rolls up and he's like, hey, so what are we talking about today?
Yeah, what's going on? What are we talking about?
Because the thing is, we actually met 6 years ago in an improv class.
Okay.
And even in the class of improv, he was much more regimented and strict on how to do things in comedy, all that kind of stuff like that. And I was very much like freewheeling, kind of just literally embracing the idea of improv, just going with the flow.
Yeah. Literally on the fly.
On the fly, yeah.
Well, it's funny you mentioned the thing about the talking prior to the episode. We did the opening weekend of Endgame.
Endgame.
For the opening weekend for Endgame, we went to go see Endgame together with a friend of Ethan's, and then we got in a car. Ethan was driving me from the theater to my house.
A half hour away.
It was a half an hour away. And we were like, okay, we cannot talk about the movie. So we ended up like the whole ride we were talking about like personal stuff, just
random horrible stuff.
Random horrible things. I think I was talking about bladder issues.
Yeah, literally bladder issues.
Okay.
The whole way up.
Fair enough.
Because we did not want to talk about the movie yet until we got in the room, and we succeeded, and it worked. It worked out.
Yeah.
So your tips are 100% on the nose.
Seriously.
Yeah, I felt bad for Mike Zapsik. He didn't see Endgame until Monday after it came out, but he had to work the store all weekend.
Oh.
So everybody, starting on Friday morning, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Mike was like,
no.
shut up.
Spoilers
and
galore.
they're like, I haven't seen it. I'm like, bro, it was all weekend. And then there were little kids who wanted to talk about it.
Yeah.
And little kids don't have a filter or anything.
Yeah,
Mike was yelling. You're like, not yelling them, but he was not happy though.
Yeah, he's like,
he was not happy. I'm like,
so was everything spoiled for him by the time he actually got to
I think he did okay because he was pretty, but it hit a certain point where I'm like, dude, why don't you just put a sign up or something?
Yeah, seriously.
But then you're gonna get, you get the trolls coming out. You still see a sign, but he was not happy that weekend.
Yeah,
right on.
Whereas Thursday 8:30, man, I was in that seat with a big bucket of popcorn, waiting to see how Thanos got taken out. So
seriously.
It's like, Mike, man, you should have bought your Thursday night tickets.
Yeah.
I don't know, he had something to do, so.
Yeah, I tried getting him to wait till Monday because I'm a dad with a couple of kids, and he was like, no, he's like, we'll go on Friday. I was like, all right, cool.
No, I respect that. Yeah. I mean, something like that, you can't wait.
No.
Yeah.
Listen, what's the point? Why would you do it? Like you said, there's so many people that will troll you.
Yep.
You might as well, go see it the first day.
Well, it was funny. Somebody brought up something. It's something I hadn't even thought about. I was on the Star Wars subreddit, and it was just before The Last Jedi came out. And somebody made a post that was like, can we take a moment of respect for all the mods who are absolutely not going to be able to see the movie, but will have to delete all the spoiler threads that come through, so the movie is going to be absolutely spoiled for
all
them.
of it. Yeah, that sucks.
And I was like,
job.
I would never want to be a mod for a
couldn't pay me
subreddit
enough
like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all those millions of dollars that they're making is is not even worth it. So right on. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, I'm gonna subscribe right now.
Awesome.
Thank you so
Like
much.
right now, no, literally right now. Because why should I wait?
Oh, this is awesome.
Thank you. Yes,
This
it's
is awesome.
fantastic.
Because because
Thank you very much.
like I just want to, and everyone else listening or watching right now should do the same. I'm just saying.
Really appreciate that, and for our podcast listeners, do the same.
Yes, of course.
For Ming's podcast.
Ethan Murphy and Nathan Buh. just kind of trails off here, but right. Subscribe. Oh, it's too bright
Nathan
here.
Budd in person.
5-star ratings, everybody, all
yes.
across the board.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
no problem.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah,
This
no,
is
great
awesome.
luck with the books. Great luck with everything. Yeah, again, if you want to ship some up.
I owe you a set. I owe you a set for free,
Yeah.
sir. I owe you
Yeah,
a set.
for sure. And great luck with the podcast and everything else. Let's meet back here next year.
Absolutely.
And let's do this again for sure.
Thank you so
and
much.
hopefully, who knows? Are there cons in Charlottesville? Is there a Comic-Con?
There's a MegaCon.
yes,
A MegaCon.
yes.
It's tiny.
Oh,
it's
the Richmond one?
Richmond, we go to Richmond also.
Did you go?
Yes.
To GalaxyCon?
No,
didn't,
the
okay.
last weekend. No,
Yeah.
Mick, our partner, did.
Okay.
Yeah, we couldn't make it, but there is one. It's a small con. It's probably about half the size of this one. It's
Yeah,
called a
very
MegaCon.
Okay.
And they do like all gaming and
Okay.
comics and all that.
That's how I
so,
tend
yeah.
to travel these days. I'll find if there's a con somewhere I want to go. It's like, hey, hey, you may have heard of the show, comic book men. Maybe, and sometimes it works.
I feel like if you're anywhere near comic books or nerddom and you haven't heard of or watched Comic Book Man, you should lose your license immediately.
I agree. I
Seriously,
wholeheartedly agree, guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, there is a speakeasy in Charlottesville. That I know where it is and how to get to it, so
Let's go.
I will gladly take you there. If you
Okay,
love
done.
Definitely,
Done.
definitely.
Let's secret knocks and everything.
a
man.
horse.
Yeah, and I know some of the organizers of a MegaCon, so
Yeah.
if you're interested in getting in on
I
that,
would love to. I would love
can
to.
try
I would love
connect
to
you.
come down. Well, just so we can pod again.
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
Yeah. Well, I gotta see you. I gotta see you. I gotta visit your comic shops and go to your places, man.
Sure.
Stuff
Yeah.
that inspires you guys. So
Yeah.
cool.
That's
Thank you guys
awesome.
so much,
so
man.
much. Thank you.
It's our
pleasure.
Creativity in progress, everybody. Live from All Star Comic Con. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that was great. That was a great interview. I really enjoyed that.
That was fantastic.
Yes,
that
it was
a
fun.
full interview that just happened right there on stream.
Yes,
live.
yes. And to us, we sat here and listened to it
We did.
again.
Of course.
And
Every second.
We remembered every second of it, and it
Yes.
was fantastic. This week is brought to you by Amazon Prime. You can prime your Amazons and and order that.
How have you not said that before? That should have been said.
Yeah, that should have been said immediately. So go ahead and get Amazon Prime, and then another thing that is bringing us to. Oh well, first before we jump to that, Ethan, do you have any Amazon Prime-ness that you want to prime?
I always have Prime on Prime. So everyone that I know, more or less, has a movie or a show they like to fall asleep to at night. It's kind of like their white noise or listening to a mother or father tell you a bedtime story. On Amazon Prime, they currently have Brian De Palma's Mission Impossible 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fine film, but it's bizarrely hypnotic. It's like my ASMR to fall asleep to. I've been watching it every night for the past week or so on Amazon Prime. I got to the point where pretty much his whole entire team dies. I see Emilio Estevez die off, and then I fall asleep. So it's so now I've associated Emilio Estevez's demise with
Oh my
blissful
God.
sleep, and I apologize for nothing. Also, on Amazon Prime, with which you can actually stay awake and watch, is Fleabag. I just about finished season 1 of Fleabag.
Oh,
which
how is that?
It's so good.
It
so,
is?
It's pretty much again.
It looks good.
It's basically, it really is like a British female Deadpool without any action or anything like that. It's just a degenerate Fleabag living her life in close enough to London, more or less. And she actually, of course, makes all kinds of fourth wall breaks, talks to the camera directly, or does all kinds of. But it's so well written and acted, and it's amazing. It's like you would love it.
Okay.
You would love it as a NSFW man. You would love it.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll check that out. Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. So another sponsor of the show is an Etsy store, Beth Sows Love.
She does. She does.
So one thing, the store is fantastic. What she does is she makes quilts out of t-shirts and sweatshirts, and pretty much any kind of fabric. She does some stuff. She also makes little snack bags, some environmentally friendly snack bags. But one thing that's actually cool, especially for the shirts and the sweatshirts and such, she makes them out of the shirts you send them. And I had this really fun idea that I'm actually going to be doing, and I highly suggest that anybody who would be interested in having this to do it and do it through her store. I'm going to get a lot of like Superman, Batman, like those shirts with the logos.
That is a good idea.
And with all the logos of the different superheroes I like.
Idea.
And I'm going to send them to her and have her make a quilt for me. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to having her do that. So again, it's Beth Sews Love, BethSewslove.
You got it.
On
you got it on your first
Etsy.com. So you can go ahead and check that out. Yeah, I'm actually really surprised I was able to spell that. You know what all it's from? It's from all of the. Are we going to give the kids any ICECREAM?
Yes,
tonight?
Your warden. Yes, making
yeah.
All the spelling bees you have.
Yeah, we have to do that. You get a little practice when you got to do that. Okay, so that's brought to us today. Those are our sponsors today.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we are time of plugging. A plug in a time. Ethan, you want to plug? What do you want to plug? Other than
Logan Browning. I mean, the movies that Logan Browning's in.
Yes.
The 40 and slaps. There's obviously the same old. EchelonGNovels.com. Creativity. Creativity in Progress Podcast.com. And wanted to thank people. We had a pretty big. We didn't actually talk about this that much at all.
Yeah, not really.
We had a pretty good showing at the All-Star Comic-Con in Tyson's Corner.
Yep.
A lot of folks came out there. We did a raffle for a really big prize, and we had 13 or so people in the raffle. It was actually, given what the raffle was, it was a lot. We had a pretty big turnout for it. We had a lot of we even had some fans when you were there, because you came just on Sunday. Someone came back to the table who had read the series.
On
Saturday.
That was awesome.
Came back just to show some love. So it's really cool to meet. So it's always it kind of reinvigorates you when you go to a convention and you get a chance to actually interact with people, real people, about your work or just about creativity and those kind of things in general. Mm-hmm. And it was a really nice time. Everyone was really nice to us. We had a great time meeting Ming and other celebrities out there. So I just want to take a moment just to thank everyone that we saw and to thank people for supporting us one way or another. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. It was a lot of fun. I met a lot of cool folks. I was very excited. I found there was one vendor selling Magic the Gathering cards, and I found them
in the first 5 minutes.
Oh yeah,
This is a 2-story convention, and you met this person in the first 5 minutes.
It was like it's like a bloodhound.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I actually was able to purchase some packs that they shouldn't have been selling yet.
Right.
Those dirty buggers.
Did you rub it in the face of the vendors of the store here? You say, "Hey, I got them early." My man.
Well, what I did was I went in and I said, yeah, I got some packs from another store. I cheated on you. I'm sorry, but they were selling them early.
Yeah, of course.
And I bought like 10 times more packs from you than I did from them. So, and they were like, okay, then that's all we care about.
Of course.
So as part of that plugging, going there, I was just going to the End Game store. I want to plug them. They're local here to Charlottesville, and also I want to plug Telegraph Comic Books again. They're doing a lot of great things, and it's a lot of exciting stuff that they're doing there. So that's enough for the plugging. So let me go into my spiel here. You can find Ethan at EchelonGNovels.com. You can find me at Nathan Beatty at NathanBeattyVO.com. You can find the podcast at EchelonGNovels.com/CiP. You can sign up for our newsletter there. Go ahead and do that. That would be fantastic. And you can call us. You can call us at 434-481-1787.
That goes for Logan Browning as well. If you want to call us, please.
It's an obsession. There's going to be a restraining order
Finally,
at some point.
I will take it.
Email the podcast directly at creativityinprogresspodcast@gmail.com. And you can check us out on YouTube as well. We throw stuff up on YouTube a lot now.
Yes.
So we drop the podcast on YouTube, and we drop at least one video. We might start doing more. And we're streaming. Currently, we're streaming right now as we're doing this. Twitch.com / can't remember what it is. I think it's CiP, but I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up. And I'll drop that in too, because I am thorough.
that memory is solid.
Solid.
You can find us on Twitch at twitch.tv / creativity in progress.
Solid as a pile of poo. Anyway. And finally, if you would like to donate, you can do that and help us do more of what we do at patreon.com / creativity in progress podcast. Our intro and outro music is the song Amigos by Platinum Butterfly.
You remembered it, couldn't pronounce it, but that's I'll take it.
By Platinum Butterfly at
Platinum Butterfly
at copyright 2015, licensed under Creative Commons Attribution 3.0. You can find more of their stuff at dig.ccmixter.org, featuring Clarence Simpson and Susan Ooze Oz. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening today. And oh God, what happened?
It blew up.
Everything went away. My life. Everything. Jesus, I honestly don't know what happened.
It's okay. It's all live streams. So it's not a problem.
Yeah, this is all live streamed. What is this? Mixer? It got really small on me. Like what the Jeebus?
You probably shouldn't bring your porn up right now, but we can't. I don't
well,
know,
that's for later.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. Let's try that again.
Yeah.
This is all going to be edited.
This is by far not our worst dismount. That's the best part.
Well, that's a funny thing. It isn't.
It's not our worst one. It's not our worst one.
Okay. Bye. Yeah, we still blew that by 5 minutes.
Clearly.
Like we weren't even to plugging, and my phone was tapping me, or my watch was tapping me. And I was like,